Shemai GTA chums, are you a fan of the 1980s Porsche 911 Turbo? Well, you want to do your Benny's customization on your standard Comet to make it a Comet Retro, which will cost you currently 387 grand,
Quick, what
but
you
it would
need?
have cost you last week 322 grand when it was 50% off rather than 40% off. But anyway, this is your last chance to get this, so you want to get it immediately. We've done all this upgrades already. It's just going to be a case of figuring out what we're going to do with this. So let's look at the liveries to start off with and see if anything that is in there to entice us. A lot of sports car liveries for racing. Mine marked maybe, I don't know. I'm tempted to do no liveries again. I've done liveries with a previous one, and I don't know. Zero gas maybe, but no, let's just do none and stick with that. And we'll figure out our colour based on the concept of Porsches. So we're going to do a chrome. No, we're not. Let's have a look at the metallic red, because that's where Porsches are, isn't it? Metallic red. And with a pearlescent, I think we probably want a pearlescent. We've got sunrise orange as a pearlescent. That is actually we've already got sunrise orange. No wonder it's looking so sparkly. Oh, that looks great, doesn't it? With sunrise orange. But what else is there? We could put bright orange, yellow. I think yellow is better. Let's put the yellow as a pearlescent. There we go. Cost us money, but no pain, no gain. Yeah, for this video, I'm going to show you the customization, and then we are going to talk a little bit about performance. Well, we're going to drive around basically. We're going to put the red on, red action. We're going to do one color, one mission in life to make this just one coloured car. Trim colour. Frost white presently. Let's get rid of those pieces of paper flying around the desk. Right, so that colours up the seats. So I quite like frost white. I think that's good. Maybe ice white, but I'm just changing it for the sake of changing it. So I'm going to stick with that as a secondary. Chrome emblem goes on das door. Right, we can start now with our bumpers. So front bumpers, we've gone for the Mark IV track bumper. Are these the best, the very best? It's a Benny's build. Oh, we can go with that. That looks more like classic 80s, doesn't it? I do like the classic 80s. The stock bumpers are pretty good. A lot of these bumpers are great anyway. So it's just a matter of finding which one you like best. And I like that one. Mark III race bumper. It's got the coloured in. Although that one had a black one, didn't it? There's a bit of a black look down below. So secondary Mark II race bumper. Oh, Mark II, or just a Mark II race bumper, that will do.
That's what you
And we
was
don't need
looking for.
secondaries. Rear bumper. Stock. Okay, you can have these diffusers in there. I'm not super certain if they suit it at all, the diffusers, which is why less options on the rear. So we're going to keep it stock because I just like it. No other reason. Engine, rest, strut braces. We've already picked one. This is what you get in the front. Obviously the engine's in the rear. Engine tunes is done to the max. Exhaust, Shotacon, big boy exhaust, the big boy, that is a good one. It's coloured up, body coloured as well, so that is pretty much the best one. I'm not going to go for anything ridiculous. I quite like, that is the best exhaust, so I'm going to stick with it. Fenders, vented arches, so you see the vents there, that's stock. It's probably not a lot, maybe a black carbon, just to have a bit of an accent or something. Not that. I'm just kind of putting an accent on the vents here with that.
All the
That's
good
all that's
stuff.
for. Hood accessories. All right. Yeah, we've got those catches. We don't need any more of them. Secondary hood. Let's have a little look. We could do it for a clean build. This is a stock, and this is a large grill. But I quite like what I've got. It's a secondary. We could change that, but it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna leave it. I think we've got the best bonnet. Interior trim. All right. Oh, this is the world of, this frustrates me. Primary color sunstrip. We're not going for a sunstrip. For a start, trim color we've done. Dashboard. We've got all this carbon stuff. We could get rid of it. We could extinguish that entirely and go stock. And we still get the electronic display, but I'm gonna keep it. I've already paid for it at this point. Just show you all the dials on offer, the usual Benny stuff. Carbon, is that secondary, primary? Maybe we want to go aluminium or carbon. Let's go with the carbon look, just to change things a little bit. I think we've got the best seats, but let's have a wee look at the stock seats. Stock seats are quite nice, but it is a race build. And I suppose it's hard to avoid now I've gone down that route, so we're going to stick with the racing style seats. I like the Apex Basic. Here's the stock wheel, but the Basic, it still has the Porsche logo, so probably going to stick with that. Comet, that has Comet in the middle, so I'm tempted by the Sprint Professional, the Fister on the red. I don't know. Maybe I'll go for the Sprint Professional. Why not? I don't normally do that, but light colour, it is a dew yellow, which suits it anyway. We could go straight yellow actually, and I think that suits it a bit better. Roll cage. Tempted by zero because I don't know if it suits cages, but it is a race build. We've kind of gone down that route now. You can go full cage with foamy stuff and that if you really fancy that. Let's have a look. We've done the liveries, plates. It's just really a license. It's just a standard plate. It's nothing fancy on this, unfortunately. Primary colour, secondary colour, trim colour. We've done all that. Skirts. So we've got the full primary skirt, and I think that's pretty good. Have we got anything slightly carbon? There we go. Slightly carbon insert. It's not really a 1980s kind of build that, but we're going to do it anyway. We're kind of doing it a modern 80s kind of build. This is probably the best wing for it. You want to get a wing because actually it says it doesn't affect it. I do like it without a wing as well. So it's either with or without you, with or without that one. There's a few decent ones. They're not that bad really. I think I've got the best one, and that's completely out of. No, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't go that far, but one of those wings basically. But I think I've got the best. Suspension is to the max. You could have it as high as that if you want, but lower suspension better. Turbo tuning is fine. Wheels, the tricky bit. We've got the wheel type. This is Benny's Bespoke, I assume. Or are they Benny's Original? No, Benny's Original's Hypnotic. Because the Bennies, you can only colour in this orange bit, so look at the colour. We've got sunrise orange, so if we're going to go like black, for example, it doesn't colour up anything exciting, so other than the outline. So for that reason, I think I'm going to change the rims. I kind of put the Bennies on because they're the only Bennies ones that kind of suited it. But I'm going to look at the track rims and see if I want to put a Mesh Maestro or something a bit chubbish. I mean, something that's still kind of 80s, maybe themed. I mean, they're a bit too big to be truly 80s, so I think we've locked that boat has sailed. So maybe the Tropos. No, I think that is Split Star is pretty good. Forged 5, well, that's the classic, isn't it? We're going to go with the Forged 5. It's black as well, so it's got everything we need. Tyres, enhancements are done. Tyre smoke is orange. Change that to red. Tyre design. Do we need a tyre design? You tell me. I don't know. Probably not with an 80s build, so we're not going to do it. Windows. As it's a track build, we've got light smoke, that's okay. Wouldn't go limo for that reason, but you might want to hide the roll bar, I don't know. What's the point of putting it out if you're going to hide it? So that is it, done, we're complete. Decent car indeed. But you should have bought it last week when it was 322. So it costs the base unit, the Comet will cost you 100 grand, and it's 387,000 for the Benny's upgrade. So that's going to be, well, do your mathematics, 500 grand, pretty much rounding up. And of course, 500 grand. You've also got an extra 100 grand with the all the upgrades to max it out with turbos and that, about 100 grand. So 600 grand car is a bargain for what you get. Decent customization, it's Benny's, but if you've done one Benny's build, you've done them all. I am getting a bit tired of Benny's builds. If you've seen this my top 5 video on Benny's builds, this is in there. And if you want a fast car, like sports or superclass, this is probably the best of the sports class, I think. So yeah, you definitely want to buy it for that reason. You also have the I didn't talk about the Nissan Skyline that you can get as well, but for me this is the better car by far. The Nissan Skyline you're getting for looks. This is you're getting for performance. Watch it slide around that corner. Whoa, pretty terrible. Maybe we should do the opening the bonnet stuff. But it is a Porsche, it drives like a Porsche. So if you've not driven a Porsche in a while, then you might be not enjoying it as much while you get up to speed on Porsches. You know, they've got a lot of understeer, and you got you're slipping around the corners a little bit. But actually, there's a fair bit of grip in those tyres, I think. I think it's mainly the understeer there. Rear-wheel drive car, very nice. And the only all-wheel drive, I think, is this Comet Safari, oddly enough. They don't have any kind of fancy, fast all-wheel drive Porsches, but maybe they'll do a super-class Porsche as an all-wheel drive as a special treat. But this one, you know, it's a recommended car. It's in my top 5, so I'd say just buy it if you fancy it and if you like the look of it. And it's not the fastest car in the world. You're not going to win races, basically, as with most cars in the sports class. It's jam-packed. That's not to mean it's a slow car, because it really isn't. It'll get you fast speeds. Maybe we'll do a speed test now. Does anybody see the leak with GTA 6? Anyone? Yeah. Obviously not talking about that in this video, but it's a bit of a shocker in a way that it was a hacker. I was wondering if it wasn't a hacker and if it was part of Rockstar's ploy, but it wasn't, unfortunately. So that's going to put back GTA 6. Although it didn't have a launch date anyway, so it's going to put back whatever there was. Now, the problem with that speedometer, as you can tell, I can't freaking read it. What is with those putting speedometers in like that? I don't think it's I mean, it's 100 and something is all I can see there. Decent car though, very decent car. You'll get used to driving it. It's one of the best Porsches in the game. It's not one of the fastest on the track though. You get the Growler as being the fast one on the track. The Comet SR is also discounted this week, assuming it's still this week. Thursday it all changes over, so I've released this hopefully on a Wednesday, so it's your last chance to buy this, so buy it immediately if you're watching this video on release. If not, then you're probably too late, but it's not really that expensive, 600 grand for a Benny's upgrade, so you're talking about $1 million, I suppose, for the car, which is not a bad price in today's prices with regards to cars. Anyway, that is the car. I've not really figured out the top speed there. I thought it was about 125, but I'm clutching at figures there off the top of my head. So a lot of guesswork there. I can't remember exact. So yeah, if you found this video useful, drop a like and subscribe. Give me your thoughts on GTA 6, etc. You can have a chat about that if you want. But yeah, hopefully this has been a useful video for you. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great day if you're playing GTA and driving on the skateboard park in a Porsche, trying to do some kind of flip. Didn't quite work, but not bad. Party on, dudes.